This meeting is being recorded.
We're all set. So what you've got here is the transaction map in the middle. I think you all have transaction maps. I don't know if you've got any there, but they're pretty useful for playing with groups of kids. It focuses the role, stops the dice going all over the place. And yeah, very much advise you to use those. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to incorporate the fortune cards, which are the black, white, and red and green cards, into the game card decks. Okay, so the game cards are what you can see here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let me just turn those around. And we want to get fortune cards mixed into the game card decks. And we're going to put 6 fortune cards into each game card deck. Now I've got 5 prepared, and I'm just going to show you 1. Okay. Now, if you just open the boxes, you're going to have 2 decks of fortune cards, deck 1 and deck 2. Okay. Now deck 1 is the deck that you're going to put into the game card decks. All right. Now you do this as follows. Take your sorry, go on.
Can I stop you for 1 second? I have a fortune deck in my hand.
Yeah.
And so we're using deck 1, right?
Yeah, you're going to use deck 1 to mix into the.
Including the cards that don't have like text on them, they have people and QR codes?
Yeah, absolutely. So every card that you have in deck 1 can be incorporated into the game card decks.
Alex, I have a question about deck 6.
Deck 6, sure, go ahead.
There's 2 deck 6s. One's colorful and one's not. Right? These are different. So did they get combined?
I wonder if can you tell me what level it says on the bottom of them both?
Level 1.
Yes,
Level 1.
Level 1.
And they both have 6 at the top?
Yes. Wait, I'm not imagining this. No.
So one is very like tiny, and the other one is kind of like a combination of 3 colors, and it's a little bit taller.
Yours is different though than ours.
That's level 2.
Wait,
That's level 1. You guys have level 1?
Yeah.
oh, you know what, Alex? I'm lying. I'm sorry. There was one separate deck that had like 3 or 4 cards with each of the.
Okay, so yeah, you're looking at those are the DIY cards,
Yes.
and they're there for you as teachers or your students to write questions on.
I gotcha. Okay. So we're not using those.
You had me worried there. I
Sorry.
wondered if something had gone wrong.
And then I realized they were the same colors as the other decks.
No, so yeah, those cards are there to, if you wanted to write your own questions to make the deck overall a little bit harder or overall a little bit easier, you can use those cards to do that. So yeah, you can put those to one side for now. Right, so here we are. This is just the level 1 command deck, and I've got my fortune cards here. And here's what I do. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 cards down, and then I put 1 fortune card in, 1, 2, 3, 4 cards down, 1 fortune card in, 1, 2, 3, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. I should have done to do 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 cards down, 1 fortune card in, 1, 2, 3, 4 cards down, 1 fortune card in, 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 and then I'm going to have 3 left over at the top. Okay, so there's 6 fortune cards going into the deck, interspersed, well, at intervals of 4 game cards. The reason we do that is that it accelerates gameplay at those intervals. Okay, so it just means it helps maintain the engagement of the students. when they get a quick turn, which is what the fortune card does. Okay, so here we have now a fully prepared deck. And as I said, I've done those other decks already, but you would repeat that process for all decks. Is that clear at this point? Is everyone okay with that?
Should we do that for all 6 decks in order to play, or?
Yeah, you should do that to all 6 decks prior to play. Yeah. If you all took a deck each, you could probably do it in 30 seconds or so. Would you want to arrange your decks now? Well,
Yes, please.
okay, sure. Go ahead. While you're doing that, I'll just explain what the QR code is on the front of the card. The QR code allows you to scan it, obviously. So you can scan it with a device, and it triggers this link. And then on the screen, you have, well, this is an explainer video of how to do this card. And on cards where there's an immediate answer, it also gives you the answer to the card. Okay, so basically scan the QR code with any device to get the answer to the card. The orange cards all involve dice rolling or stacking, so there are no answers to the orange cards. You have to peer review answers to orange cards, but all of the other cards have answers available via QR code. If you're using the game as sort of, you know, you're giving it to students to learn by themselves, then you've also got these explainer videos. You click Teach Me, you got an explainer video there, and they can understand how to arrive at the answer. Okay, so you can use it for independent learning if you want to. So that's what the QR codes do. Okay, are you all set with your decks?
Just about.
All right, fantastic. So once the decks are set up, I'm going to explain how to use the game cards, what the scoring mechanism is. Okay, now to do this, could I please have 3 volunteers?
Oh, pick me.
Okay, Laura, you've got Laura. So Laura, I'm going to put you on the first coaster. All right, and who wants to go on the second coaster?
You can put me. Anna.
Anna, okay.
Oh boy.
Don't worry, there's nothing too tricky is going to happen. So I should have said we're playing with this is the level 1 version of the game, which I think you will have the most of. So the content here is recommended grades 2 to 4. The majority of the content is drawn from grade 3, and there's a little bit of grade 2 and a little bit of grade 4. Now, who would like to go on the third base?
Jen.
Jen, okay, lovely.
I was going to do it.
All right, so I'm not going to bring the this is not how we would play the game. This is a demonstration in the first instance, just to show you how the cards work and how the scoring works. All right, so this isn't live play yet. We're still in demo mode. Now I'm going to pour my ant coins into one of these transaction mats. I find that this is the best way to store the money. You can also put it in the top of the box if you don't have enough mats, but it's just easier to get at when it's in one of these transaction mats. So when I play now, I use 2 transaction mats or dice mats to play with. Okay, so we've got the money in there. Now, you usually roll the dice to trigger which card you pick up So the cards are numbered 1 to 6. So whatever number you roll on the dice, that's the card you pick up and play. Okay, for the purposes of explaining the game card scoring, I'm just going to start with card number 1. And Laura, we're going to pretend that this is your question. Okay, so if you can read that question out to everybody.
Roll 1 white dice and 1 red dice and add them together. Find the difference between this number and 20.
Okay, there we go. So we can all do that.
I should do that.
Well, shall I do it here?
No, that's good.
Yeah. So we've got a 6 and a 5. Sorry.
Well, I added them up first. I didn't.
You're not supposed to do my job though.
All right. So Laura.
So you want the answer?
Yeah. So tell me the answer.
9.
9. Fantastic. Right. So having answered correctly, you now win this number of ant coins. Now you can see that it's hopefully 30 ant coins. If you actually want to find the same card, you can see each card is numbered. So this is card number 1. It's the card number 15 in the orange deck. If you want to find the same card, but it probably doesn't matter that much. So this is, you win 30 ant coins. All right, so I'm going to give you 30. And then you've also got this magic wand symbol here. So this is a multiplier for each card. And it tells you that you should roll 1 dice. And you're going to times whatever you roll with 1 dice. That's a 4. You're going to times whatever you roll with 1 dice by 5, hence the times by 5 symbol. Okay. So we've got 4 times 5, 20, and then we add it to our 30. So you're going to get an extra 20 ant coins, which of course makes your total 50 ant coins. Okay.
Excellent.
And that is how the scoring works for every card. While we're here, you can also see we've got a sand timer symbol. And the sand timer symbol is telling you how many sand timers are available for correctly answering this card. Okay, so this card would have 2 sand timers. Now, use the sand timer if the students are confident around the math. If they're not confident around the math, you don't have to use the sand timer. So this is a decision that you make according to the students you're playing with. I sometimes use the sand timer, I sometimes don't. It doesn't make that much difference to the experience. But it's pretty fun to use it if everyone's reasonably confident and you can put a little bit of pressure on people. So that's at your discretion, really. All right, so there we go. We've tried the orange card. Now, Lara, because you got that question correct, you get to keep this orange card. So I'm going to put that by your station. All right, and we're now going to move on to Anna. So Anna, I'm going to give you a true or false question. Okay, so here we go. If you can read that out to us.
There's 5 kilograms of, thank you, pears in 1 box. There will be 18 kilograms in 4 boxes.
Okay, and this is a true or false question. So you just have to answer true or false.
So that will be true.
I don't know what to do with you now.
So that would be in fact false.
This isn't role play. So what happens if you're wrong? Nothing?
Right, so if you're wrong, you do not get to keep the card and you do not get any ant coins. And I know that Anna was just helping the presentation by giving me the opportunity to explain that. Thank you, Anna. All right. So yes, that's exactly what would happen. If you get the question wrong, then you don't get any ant coins and the card goes back to the bottom of the green deck. Alternatively, what's quite a nice thing to do is if students get something wrong, you can put the card to one side and then those topics can be topics that you discuss together at the end of your session, right? So how to get to the answer. And of course, if you don't have time to do that, you could just ask the student to scan the QR code and watch the explainer video on an iPad or whatever. Okay, that's another choice. All right, so Anna, you finish your turn, unfortunately, with 0 ant coins. And now we're going to go to question number 3. So Jen, this is for you.
Okay.
If you can read that one out loud.
Ronnie resists multiplies a number by 2 and then adds 1. The answer is 9. What was his number? 4.
Yeah, lovely. Well done. So you win 50 and a magic times 10. Okay, so we're going to go through that again. So you've won 50 already. I roll the dice. We're going to times that 3 by 10. Oops, where is it?
34. 80 coins.
So yeah, very good. You win 80. You get to keep the card, and you've got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. There we go. All right. Now, as I said, each of these categories of card scores in exactly the same way. So I'm not going to go, I won't sort of demo each card for you all unless you'd like me to. Do we feel confident with how that works?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes? All right. So what I will say is this category 4 card, you can see it has 12 mental arithmetic questions on it. The category 5 card has pictures and actions. So this is a clock question. And then the category 6 game card is a trivia and fun category. So we have questions like name one Shakespeare play. Okay, or we could have a question like this, which is a 5 dice lottery. So you basically roll the dice to win ant coins. So it's a less math content in category 6. So it's like a break from the math, but it also, yeah, go ahead.
So you just keep going through the categories 1 through 6 in order, or?
Right. So in fact, the selection of which card you play is arbitrary. So it's generated by rolling the dice. So I just want to stress, I'm taking you through 2 steps, one to explain scoring mechanisms and then one to explain fortune cards. And then we'll do a live play where we'll actually play the game. So at this point, all I'm hoping to explain is how the scoring works on the game cards, and then I'm going to explain how the fortune cards work as well. And then we'll go into gameplay.
How about number of players?
Number of players, anything from 2 to 5 is sort of recommended. You can play with 6. You may find that if you play with 6 that the students, someone might lose interest because it's so long until their turn's coming around. So yeah, we recommend 5 as a maximum. I think for kind of for the greatest intensity, 3 is quite a nice number, but really it can work with anything from 2 to 5. All right, are we all good on functionality at this point?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Right, now, as you've probably understood from what we've done so far, the questions on the cards are obviously rewarding the knowledge of the math content. And one of the purposes of Numberella is to slightly reduce reliance on math content by introducing luck into the game. And we do that with these fortune cards. Okay, now I'm going to explain the fortune cards one by one. And the one I'm going to start with is the most important one, which is this card, which is called the Harry Hijack. Okay. Now, the Harry Hijack card allows you to, or allows any player who holds it to hijack someone else's turn. Okay. So if you hear a question which you think you could do, and you have one of these cards, you can say, Harry Hijack. And at that point, if you whoever's doing the hijacking has to answer the question on the card. If they successfully answer the question, they must dice duel the person being hijacked, and whoever wins the dice duel gets to keep the card and the money. All right. Now, it's quite a lot to take in, so let me just say that again. Anyone holding the card, the Harry Hijack card, can hijack the person who's reading the card out, the person whose turn it is. They then have to answer the card. They have to answer the question on the card. If they get it right, they dice duel the person whose turn it was, and the winner of the dice duel gets to keep the card. Okay. Now, obviously, it's easier if we do this live. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give Lara a Harry Hijack card, and we're going to pretend that it is Anna's turn. Okay. Now, I'm going to do this with a true or false card with category 2. So, Anna, we are now pretending that this is your turn. And once Anna's read out this question, Lara, I want you to say Harry Hijack. Okay?
Got it.
Here we go. So, Anna, over to you.
Yeah, 60 minutes in an hour.
Harry Hijack.
Oh, this is a brilliant demonstration. Thank you. So we're going to throw the Harry Hijack card onto the mat. You can even encourage the students to throw the cards into the mat. It just keeps everything nice and tight and under control. And Laura, your job now is to answer this question.
This is the true false question, right?
Yes.
That is true.
That is true. 60 minutes now. Very good. So now we're going to have the dice duel. Now, Laura, you are the hijacker, so you roll first. Okay, so we're going to roll your dice. Just going to balance the cards on the edge there. So, Laura, you roll a 1.
Oh, that's not my role.
And Anna, you are now going to roll yours, and you roll a 6.
Woohoo!
So,
Yeah.
Anna, you get to keep this card. You win 70 Anna points and a magic times 5. So I'm going to roll that times by 5. 2 5s are 10. We add it to your 70, so you get 80.
Woohoo!
Yep, very nice. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Okay. And you get to keep this green card. And so what we've seen there is Lara, by virtue of holding the Harry Hijack, is interested in Anna's question. So the whole purpose is to keep everyone hearing all of the math, no matter whose turn it is, right? So that's one of the purposes of this Harry Hijack card. But of course, Anna, you know, let's say she hesitated prior to answering. She had to think about it for a second. She still had that 50-50, the dice duel, so that she could still win the card. So she retains an interest. It's not like the strongest mathematician can bully their way to victory, right? Hijack only ever gives you a 50% chance of victory. All right. So this Harry Hijack card, once it's been used, goes back into the bottom of the deck. But just so we're all clear, let's do one more Harry Hijack demonstration. So this time, Jen, we're going to say you have the Harry Hijack card, and you're going to hijack Lara. So we're going to pretend it's Lara's turn. All right. So let's mix it up a bit. Let's throw a category 5 question, a quick draw question in. So Lara, I'm going to show you the quick draw question, and Jen, I want you to shout Harry Hijack. Okay. So you can shout Harry Hijack as soon as the card is drawn. This is because of a quick draw category, can be hijacked straight away. I'll break down that in a second. So let's go. So Jen, you can shout Harry Hijack.
Harry Hijack.
Very good. So once again, the Harry Hijack card comes in. And Jen, if you can answer that question for me.
The answer is 225.
225 is the correct answer. Okay. So now, Jen, as the hijacker, you're going to roll first. So Jen, you roll a 3. And Laura, you roll a 3. So what happens, right? Well, what happens is this is what we call a hot roll. The value of the card 45 now doubles to become 90. Okay, and so you're both going to roll again. Jen, you're going to go first because you're the hijacker. Jen rolls a 4. Lara rolls a 3. Okay, so in this instance, Jen, you have successfully hijacked. So we're going to throw the card over to you. You've got now got this 45, and you've also got a magic times 10. So this is a real high scoring card. I roll your dice, you roll a 5. So you've got 5 times 10 plus 45, which gives you 95.
But where did the
Don't
90
you
go?
double?
Where did the 90 go?
Oh,
90?
I got 90.
Oh my God, sorry. Yes, sorry, 90. So yeah, you got 90 plus 50, so you get 140.
Yeah, what happens if they roll and they match again?
Sorry, say again?
Like, what happens if they do the second roll off and they both get the same number?
Yeah, then it's another hot roll and you keep doubling the score until someone wins.
Do you double the 90 or do you triple the 45?
You double the 90.
Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, it gets very exciting when it gets, you know, into multiple hot rolls. The most I've known is 5. And you're dealing with very high levels of excitement when that happens. So what just happened was, sorry, go on.
Sorry, and it's backing up a little bit. To get the Harry Hijack card, you would roll, say, a 1, and it happens to be the next card in the 1 deck. So you
Okay,
take
so it's a perfectly timed question. So I'm just about to explain that. So first point is actually at the beginning of the game, each player has 3 fortune cards. All right, so we're now going to transition into the fortune card phase. So I'm going to give everyone 3 cards. I'm going to lay them face up, and I'm also just going to explain. Once you get the 3 cards at the beginning, but once you break through 100 in silver, you cash that in and you get a gold piece.
Okay.
Okay, so you just won, Jen, you just won 140. So I'm actually going to give you that 140 here. And your total score has now gone from, you were on, let me see, 56, 70, 80. So you won 140. So you're actually going to cash in 100 of this. And you now move on to 220. Okay. And for each gold piece that you get a new fortune card. So we're going to give you 2 extra fortune cards.
Oh, for every gold coin you get another fortune card?
Exactly. That's really, that's the engine of the fortune cards. Every time you hit 100, you get a new one. So you cash in your silver, you get a gold piece, and then you get a new fortune card as well. Okay. So now, is everyone happy with how Harry Hijack works? Because that's the one that's sort of complicated. The others should be fairly self-explanatory. All right, we're all happy with Harry Hijack. So now let me introduce you to the other fortune cards. Now, the Miss a Go card. If you play it to your opponent, they have to miss their go.
Aww.
Yeah.
Stop Jen.
Thief card. If you play the thief to your opponent, then they have to pay you this much money.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And you play it on someone else's turn, right? Like so if I have a thief card, and it's Anna's turn, before she starts her turn, I yell out thief or play the thief.
In fact, it's the other way around. On your turn, you can play the thief card to whoever you want.
Oh, so it has to be my turn to play.
Yes, on your own turn, you can play the thief and the Miss a Go.
Does she lose her turn? The rest of the turn?
So when it's not your turn, you're allowed to play Harry Hijack, because Harry Hijack is to attack someone else. But on your turn, you play the thief.
So that's coming from her, say, 3 fortune cards or the fortune cards she earns. She can look at them and say, I want to use the thief right now.
Exactly right. Yeah. So
But
any
then
card,
okay.
But that
Yeah.
didn't work for the. Am I misunderstanding the Miss a Go? Wouldn't I yell it if it's someone's turn and they have a lot of coins? Wouldn't I want to stop their turn? So I wouldn't play it on my turn. I would play it on their turn, right?
Right. So it works that on your turn, you would play it, and then they would miss their next turn.
Oh. But okay, so I have to know in advance that I want somebody to miss their turn.
Yeah. So you'd probably choose the person with the most coins, with the most ant coins. You say Miss a Go, and then they will have to miss their next turn, unless they have a Ronnie Resist card.
Oh, well, resist. I can resist.
So the Ronnie Resist allows anyone holding it to block any attack, right? So you can block the Harry Hijack, you can block the Miss A Go, and you can block the Thief.
And if you play one of these, what are they called? Fortune cards during your turn, do you continue with the rest of your turn, or is that?
Yeah, exactly. So your turn comprises rolling the dice, picking a card, answering the card, getting money, and playing any fortune cards you want to play.
Okay, all right.
And you can play as many fortune cards as you like on your turn, including if you pick up a new fortune card because you get more money. All right, so that's the total turn. So there's your Ronnie Resist, and the final fortune card is this guy here, the Gin Genie. All right, now in the crystal ball, the Gin Genie has cash, and the Gin Genie basically allows you to to get money from the bank.
Okay.
So it's simply free money. And this card here, the Gin Genie 100, means that you can get 100 ant coins from the bank. So this is
And another fortune card on top of it.
yeah, exactly. So you would get another fortune card straight away. So those are the fortune cards. I'll just go through them one more time, and then we're pretty much ready for our first little bit of live play where, you know, we'll put all this together and see how it all works. Okay. So first of all, we've got the Harry Hijack. Who wants to summarize what the Harry Hijack does?
Me. So when you have a Harry Hijack card and you hear a problem that someone else has that you think you can solve, you can yell it out, and then you would get to solve that problem. And if you're correct, then the person whose problem it was, we have a dice duel, and if the person who rolls the highest gets the profit, gets the prize. But if there's a tie, then we have to go into the hot roll situation where the prize doubles.
Yeah, perfectly explained. Very well done, Jen. Great explanation. The only thing we could add, of course, is that if the person you hijack has a Ronnie Resist,
then they do not. Then the hijack is nullified and the card goes
exactly.
away. Both
But
people
should,
lose their fortune cards.
Yes.
but should you, the hijacker, have a Ronnie Resist yourself,
Yeah. Okay. You can.
then you're allowed to block the Ronnie Resist and the hijack stands.
Okay.
Okay, so you can get some quite nice interchanges with this.
One Ronnie Resist without another.
All right, so that's the Harry Hijack and the Ronnie Resist. Now, who can tell me what we do with the Thief?
Who wants to do the thief?
The thief is used when it's your turn and you want to steal someone's money.
Yes, exactly. And is there any way we can stop someone stealing our money?
Ronnie
With a
Resist.
Ronnie Resist. Perfect. Well done. And also notice here that at the bottom, it's Thief 50. Okay, so that's how many ant coins you are stealing.
Got it.
All right.
Okay.
And last but not least, well, sorry, not quite last. We've got the Miss A Go card. Who wants to tell me what that does?
That's the one that you call out when it's your turn.
Exactly right.
On someone else, but you can still play your turn as far as getting your card and trying to solve the problem in the game.
But then when it gets around to
Around
that
that
person,
person,
they miss their turn.
Unless they have a
Ronnie
Ronnie
Resist.
Resist.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah. Fantastic. Good explanations. And then finally, we've got the Gin Genie. Who wants to tell me what the Gin Genie does?
Missed it.
You get money.
That's when you just.
You
Yeah,
get
get
money
money.
from the bank. That's right. And no one can stop you doing that. That's money in the bank. Okay. All right. Lovely. So now I'm going to pick up all the cards. I'm going to put the game cards back into the game card decks, and we're going to have some live play. Now, we can add another player here. Should we play with 4 players, or are you all happy with 3 players? How would you like? Does someone else want to join in?
The 3 we're helping each other out.
Yeah? Okay, that sounds good. All right, then. So let me put the cards here. So now I'm going to set the game up exactly as I would, you know, if we were playing a live game. So first of all, each player is going to get 50 ant coins. Okay, so 50 ant coins to each player.
50 ant coins.
That's what you start off at?
Start off with 50.
Yeah, we start off with 50.
Okay. You have 50.
Yeah, 50 each. And then we're going to deal each player 3 fortune cards.
3 fortune cards, okay.
Now, I'm going to put these fortune cards face up. All right. You can play face up or face down. I generally recommend playing face up when you're learning the game. And then when kids are more confident, you can play face down. What's interesting, certainly with younger kids, is that these little interchanges that we've looked at so far, because they're predictable, right? You can see what will happen. If I play this, they'll play that, but I can then play that. Do you see what I mean? So you can start to get them to think about strategy when the cards are face up. So in some ways, playing face up is better for teaching strategy. And also, as an administrator of the game, you can obviously see what's going to happen too, so you can guide a student through the strategy if they need to be guided through. Anyway, let me give you these cards. So, Lara, you've got a miss a go. You've got another miss a go. Anna, you've got a Harry hijack and another Harry hijack. And Jen, you've got a miss a go and a Ronnie resist. Lara, you've got a Gin Genie 30. Anna, you've got another Harry hijack. And Jen, you've got another Ronnie resist. Okay, so obviously that's completely arbitrary. It's just however the cards come out, and that's fine. Right. Now, we need to decide how long we're going to play for. Okay. So there's 2 ways really to end the game. One is who has the most ant coins, and the other is who hits the jackpot. Okay. So I personally like playing a jackpot game. So we set a target. We can say, right, the first person to hit 500 or 1,000. And if someone hits that, they win the game. If no one hits it, then we have an outro to the game called a sudden death dice duel, but I'm not going to explain that quite yet. The simplest way of doing it is to say, okay, we're going to play a 15-minute game, and whoever has the most ant coins at the end of 15 minutes wins the game. Okay, that's the easiest way. But as I'll come to explain, you know, if you treat Numberella Deluxe as something which is going to allow kids of different abilities to all play together and enjoy math, right, as a sort of fundamental driver of enthusiasm for the subject, then the more luck you bring into it, the better, because it means that, you know, even the weakest mathematician can still win. And that's one of the goals of the game, is to achieve that. So let's say we're going to play a 10-minute game, right? I'm going to roll the dice on all of your behalf to see who starts. So Lara, you roll a 1. Anna, you roll a 2. And Jen, you roll a 5. So Jen, you're going to start the game.
Okay.
And we're going to roll the dice. See what number you roll. You roll a 5. Okay. So you're going to pick up this 5. Now, just to explain, categories 1, 2, and 3, the card needs to be read out before it can be hijacked. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3 has to be read out before it can be hijacked. Categories 4 and 5 can be hijacked straight away. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3 read before hijack. 4 and 5 hijack straight away. So Jen, I'm going to draw this card. Anna, you have the hijack card, so you'd be able to hijack. Lara, you can't hijack. Click record.
This meeting is being recorded.
I've seen that in action, you know, with students who are not good at math, but are good at strategy, and they just play the cards better and they win because of it. You know, so you're absolutely right. It's a good observation. And yeah, certainly in the UK, you know, one of the things that COVID hit was interactions between students, right? You know, because they were all at home and doing online schooling. So getting them to sit down and interact together is a great thing. So yeah, I think on both counts, that's very valid observations. All right, so we've basically seen how to play the Jackpot version of the game. And as promised, I'm now going to show you how to use the software. So I'm going to share screen. Actually, before I share screen, let me just show you. There's two ways to access this, okay? If you download the Numberella app, then you can access a teacher app, which looks like this. And you can use, therefore, your phone or iPad or whatever to add ant coins to your league. You can have as many leagues as you like, and you simply click on it, and then you can add ant coins to each individual. So it means if you've got multiple stations set up, you can walk around, and at the end of a game, you know, you can say, okay, this person's got this many ant coins, and you just enter them into the league.
Okay, so it's like a
Okay. So that's the phone app. Now I'm going to share screen and show you how it looks.
Alex, is the app available in the Google Play Store? Or is it only
Yes,
iOS?
yes, it's available on both stores. Yeah.
Okay, that's good because we're a Chrome environment in our district.
Sure thing.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all accessible via browser as well. So
Okay.
what I would say is that the app does not work on Chromebooks. So if you want to add coins and so on, you'd need to do that via the browser.
Okay.
All right, so let's just go here. So this is what you would do. We're going to go Numberella. Oops. Numberella.club. There you go. That's the Numberella song. Play that to your students if you want. And then we're going to go log in. Actually, we're going to go sign up, I suppose. So obviously, I'm already logged in here, but we can take it from top. So you can log in as a school teacher. That's if you just want one account. If you were a school leader and you wanted to have other accounts set up sort of under your tutelage, then you can choose school leader. And this is pretty straightforward. You just put in your name, school, so on and so forth, and submit. All right. Rather than do all that fresh, I'm just going to go onto my own account because I've got things set up there. So this is the view that you get. Right. These are various different leagues that I've got. And you can create a new league if you want. You can manage your teachers. You can view the students combined from all the different leagues. You can send notifications, if you like, to students or parents, or a whole league or a house. So let me go back here. And this is a live league. This is a league that I run currently with my students. So in terms of adding students to this, you can do it in a few ways. You can add a student sort of just one by one by putting their name in here. So first name, last name, and then press submit. You can do an Excel import. You can also do using a league QR code. All right, so each league has its own dedicated QR code. And students who've set up an account can scan that with their machine. However, if your students are using school issue machines that are Chromebooks, that option won't be open to them. So I suspect that your best bet will be a Google import, an Excel import here. That's pretty simple. You just do, so here's a sample sheet. Open that up. It's basically just first name, last name. So you put in the names here and then import the sheet. Pretty straightforward stuff. Once you've done that, your students will appear like this, and you would need to activate them. So I'll just tell you what, let me just do a new league. Okay, so let's call this New Britain. I'm going to select the teacher, so I'll just select myself. You can see that's another teacher who is operating under my bailiwick, but I'll choose myself, and then let's put in Mary Kate. So I submit that. And then you can see I've got my new league, and I can activate Mary Kate here. And there she is in the league. We can do Anna, D, and Jen. There we go. We activate all students like that. Add ant coins to their totals. It's pretty simple stuff. So Jen, you had 225. Anna, you had 125. Mary Kate, you had 215. Sorry, I meant to do 325 there to give you another 100.
I had 500 because I won.
You're absolutely right. Sorry, I'd forgotten about that. Let's give you another 175.
Next time I forget to, I'm so sorry.
Done this all wrong, right?
I heard another good one.
Minus 175. There we go.
No, that's not available now.
Okay, so we now have our positions. Now, what the system also does is it arranges the students into different houses. Okay, so these houses are named after the characters in the game.
Yeah.
And once you've got your allocations, you can arrange the students into different houses by dragging and dropping them. So the idea here is that, you know, if you had a class of 20 students or whatever, you'd put them all into houses, you distribute the students according to ability. So each house would have a strong mathematician, each one would have a weak mathematician, and you try and create balanced teams. And then at the end of each session, you add the ant coins, you have the display of the house competition, and it means that the play is not limited just to sort of one-off. It starts to become relevant on a week-by-week basis, which sort of adds to the excitement, gives a sense of anticipation, and you can set, you can supply some kind of a prize for the winning team at the end of the term, and all the winning individuals. Now, you are able also, depending if you want to have an individual league as well as a team league, you can turn off what the students can see. All right, so I can turn off this switch here, and it means that the students will only see the house competition. But if you want them to see both, then you can, right? So you've got those switches there. And that is sort of it for the software at its simplest level. Any questions on it so far?
No.
Do you think that will, I mean, in terms of importing students, do you have any restrictions or anything like that? Would you be able to use it as I've described?
I think our capacity for using it is going to be pretty small in the beginning. We have small groups of students. It might be more practical for teachers to hand load them in, because they're working with it. They're working with small intervention groups, so it might be
Maybe like intervention groups across Elevate could each be like
a house. Yeah,
compete against each other or something.
Yeah, it could be.
We have to think about this one.
Yeah, have a think about it, of course. I find that having this sort of motivational superstructure is really, really effective at creating, you know, a motivated environment in class. It's very, very effective. I begin most classes with, okay, let's see where we are in the league, and how many do you need to, you know, overtake the person ahead of you, or how many does your team need in order to get to the top? So it allows you to access very motivational language. Okay, so we can park that there. I've got one thing left on my list to do, which is just a different way of playing the game called starters. You may have seen this leaflet in the box.
Mm-hmm.
Now, starters is a version of the game which you can play if you only have sort of, say, 5 minutes. You don't want to get the dice out. You don't even necessarily want to get the coins out, but you want to have a quick sort of warm up before a math class. So it's basically less admin and just a faster access to the content. So you can play this in 2 different ways. One is slightly easier than the other. So the first way is just called the most cards win version. You use only decks 2 to 5. So true or false, word question, high pressure, and quick draw. And basically you distribute the one of each category of card to all students. They pair off, and then they ask each other the questions. Okay? If the student gets the question right, sorry, go on.
Can you just stop sharing your screen so we can see you better?
Oh God, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, there we go. I'm back. So yeah, we just, for starters, we're just using decks 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's no fortune cards involved. And simplest version is you literally just have the cards. You give each player one of each card. So we've got 4 cards per player. And then they play head to head. All right. So if we do a little role play, so let's say that I'm playing Jen. So Jen, I would start off by saying, hold your left leg with your left hand and name the shape.
What shape is that?
I guess it's hard to see over the camera.
Cylinder.
Cylinder, exactly. So you get that correct and you get to keep the card. Okay, so I'm sort of virtually giving you that yellow card now.
All right.
And then it's your turn to ask me a question. So you ask me this one.
The difference between 56 and 45 is 8.
Okay, so I would say false. So I now get to keep this card, right?
Okay.
And then I would ask you, the 64th war between the Bopics and the Nopics lasted for 3 weeks. How many days did the war last?
21 days.
21, yeah. Now, obviously, unless one of us deliberately gets something wrong, we're going to share the cards and end up with 4 each, in which case it's a tie. But if one of us got a question wrong, then we would not get the card, and then we have a score at the end of the process. So you have 3 cards, I have 2 cards, or whatever. Okay. You can do that in about 5 minutes. You allow 1 minute per card, and the winner is simply the person with the most cards. Okay, so it's a super simple game, but it does allow you to use the box for sort of when you have less time. If you want to include a dice in it, then you can score the cards by using the ant coin value and the magic, and then you're getting an ant coin score at the end of the game, in which case you can enter the scores into the league, and it contributes to that ongoing competition. Okay, but the functionality of the game is exactly the same. So that's starters.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, that's it really. That's kind of the introduction. Any questions?
Do you, or is your company thinking about offering like additional packs of cards? Like, so say we play this for a year, and we've been through the kids will have gone through the cards several, and I understand that repeating the cards is a good thing, but eventually, if they like the format of the game, they may need additional material.
Yeah.
That's
So
coming with, right?
no, absolutely. So extension decks are planned.
Okay.
I mean, depending on the intensity that you play it, I personally have been playing, you know, I use it for at least probably 3 to 4 games a day. And I would say, yes, I have started to remember the answers, but it does take a long time. I think you'd probably get at least a year, probably more, out of, because, you know, there's 27 cards in each deck. Yeah, so there's a lot to remember. But yes, in short, we will do expansion packs. You know, we can do sort of specific to, you know, maybe subject specific, like an algebra deck or whatever. But yeah, we plan to do that. But I think you should be okay for foreseeable future.
And how about for like even younger kids? Like with
Okay.
shapes?
Yeah, good question. Now, there is a version under development which will be more like sort of K to 1. The thing is that the very young kids struggle with the complexity of the format, right?
Right.
So I have developed a version which is called Numberella Junior. This isn't published anywhere, but I play it with my own kids. So if you'd like to try it, I can explain it. It's not very complicated. You want me to tell you about it?
I mean, I'm just wondering if it's available, just. You know,
Well, it's available with what you've got. So it's you know, you play it with these cards, these coins, but you basically just play fortune cards. So the math content is very low. I'm using it, you know, I would use it with 3, 4, 5-year-olds who are learning to count. So you're basically just using the dice and the fortune cards. Is that going to be relevant? I mean, I can explain it if you like.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's perhaps a little bit for children who are a little bit younger than you're immediately dealing with. Okay, so any more questions?
I think so. Thank you very much. It was nice to walk through the game.
Yeah, no, of course. It's been a pleasure. Like I said, you know, you may have questions ongoing. So, you know, Anna, originally we scheduled like just this one session, but, you know, in hindsight, I think I would definitely schedule PDs as being this session plus a follow-up session, just to pick up any loose ends. So, you know, I'm very much open to doing that in a month from now, if you like. So, you know, we can do that if you want, but you let me know. And, you know, meantime, I'm, you know, feel free to share my email address with anyone who's using it. And, you know, I'm very happy to just answer questions ad hoc, and just, yeah, try and make it a success. You know, that's what I'm hoping, that it works for you all and makes your students like math more, and, you know, hopefully become more confident in arithmetic and all of that stuff.
Great. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
Okay, lovely to meet you all. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.